Hi guys, welcome back to science. Today we're going to talk about Earth's spheres. So our lesson objectives are to describe the parts of Earth's geosphere, describe Earth's biosphere and atmosphere, and we're going to discuss the water cycle. So the geosphere is Earth's crust and the mantle. The crust is the thin layer of rock that forms on the outer skin. So it's this outside part out here. This is the crust, okay? And the mantle is the layer just below the crust. So it's going to be this red area right here. And it's hot, but it's mostly solid rock. So you're not going to have lava and magma. This is solid. The crust and the uppermost mantle make up the lithosphere, which is carried on a softer, hot layer of rock called the asthenosphere. So here's the asthenosphere here. This maroon color. And then the lithosphere is the crust and the upper mantle. So it's these pieces right here. The geosphere is the Earth's core. This is the layer beneath the lower mantle, and it's made of molten metals such as iron and nickel. So the inner core is a dense ball of solid metal. Heat from the outer core pushes the asthenosphere's soft rock upward as it warms. The rock then sinks downward as it cools. This is called convection. So as you can see, you have currents of convection, okay? And it's going to push this rock upward as it gets warmer, because when we warm things, they expand, right? So this is going to push that rock upward. The geosphere has plate tectonics. So tectonic plates are large plates of lithosphere. As the asthenosphere moves, it drags along the tectonic plates. There are about 15 major tectonic plates making up Earth's surface. Geologists have determined that at least twice the world's continents were combined into a supercontinent. Pangaea is the most recent supercontinent. So as you can see here, we have outlined all the tectonic plates, right? So there's three different kinds. There's convergent plates right here where they push together, okay, and these create mountains. And then there's divergent, which push apart, okay? So these create things like trenches and separations like the Grand Canyon. And then we have these here that go up and down in different directions, and they're called transform. So before the tectonic plates separated, we have Pangaea here, which is this supercontinent where all of everything is still together, okay? And then after many, many years of tectonic plate separation, we have the continents that we know today. So landforms develop from collisions and separations of tectonic plates. Examples of landforms are mountains, islands, and continents. Landforms that are created by tectonic plate movements influence climate by altering patterns of rainfall, wind, ocean currents, heating, and cooling. Rates of soil formation, erosion, and deposition are affected by these climate characteristics. Deposition is the depositing of eroded soil at a new location. So there's different types of plate boundaries. The type of plate boundaries determine the type of landform that results from a collision. So divergent plate boundaries, magma or molten rock, surges upward to the surface and pushes the plates apart, creating a new crust as it cools. So if you look here, this example is this mid-Atlantic ridge. It's a 46,000 mile system that cuts across the ocean floor. Transform plate boundaries, when two plates meet and slip and glide alongside one another, this often causes earthquakes. So for example, California's San Andreas Fault, where the Pacific plate and the North American plate rub against each other. And convergent plate boundaries are when plates collide at convergent plate boundaries. One of two things can happen. So you have subduction, which is when one plate of crust slides beneath another. It may heat up and cause magma to erupt, which is also volcanoes. Or we have mountain building. That's when two plates collide, slowly lifting material from both plates. Okay, so this formed the Himalayas. Now let's talk about the biosphere. The biosphere is the part of Earth in which living things interact with non-living things. So here you see the birds, sea creatures, microscopic organisms, dead plants and animals, vegetation. Okay, so all of these things interact together. The atmosphere is a sea of gases that support and protect the entire biosphere. Ozone is a gas made up of oxygen molecules that each have 3 oxygen atoms. A layer of ozone protects the biosphere from the sun's radiation. Greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, protect the biosphere from the bitter cold of space. This is called the greenhouse effect because it keeps the Earth warm. The hydrosphere contains all of the Earth's water. 97.5% of Earth's water is salt water, which is found in oceans and salt lakes. Only 2.5% of Earth's water is fresh water, and only 0.5% of Earth's water is unfrozen fresh water that could be used for drinking or watering crops. The water cycle is also called the hydrologic cycle. It summarizes the roles that water plays in our environment. So evaporation is the conversion of a substance from liquid to gas. This process is sped up by warm temperatures and strong winds. So evaporation is going to be this water here heats up and it goes up into the clouds, okay? Transpiration is the release of water vapor by plants through their leaves. Precipitation is the process of water returning to the Earth's surface in the form of rain or snow. And condensation is a change in the state from gas to liquid. Groundwater is fresh water found underground, sometimes in aquifers, underground reservoirs found in rock and soil. So the way that humans impact the water cycle are the clearing of plants increases runoff and erosion. It increases evaporation and reduces transpiration. Spreading of water on farm fields increases evaporation. Releasing certain pollutants into the atmosphere can cause precipitation to become more acidic, like acid rain. And unrestrained water use for irrigation and industry are the most threatening to our future. All right, guys. So that's it for the Earth's cycles. So I want you to use this slideshow to complete your notes, and that is your assignment for today.